You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Hello and welcome to track 19 of Desert Planet Discs. I'm one of your hosts for this merry journey, Carl, and joining me as ever is my co-pilot on this merry ship, Mr. Greg Robertson. How's it going, Greg?
Hot dang, it's all good, sir. How are you?
Very good. And at the top of the show there, we had somebody who's becoming a bit of a show regular now. Our friend from Brazil, Mr. Ciao Gaona. Ciao Gaona. Sorry if we're pronouncing your name wrong, sir. But yes, drummer from Brazil. And that's a version of the Force theme from New Hope, and obviously reprised, however you want to say it, throughout the saga. That's from YouTube, and he's joined on that by Yuri Bastos on guitar, Day Malagrino on bass, Daniel Hesterman, thank you for having an easy to pronounce name, Daniel, on keys, and of course Ciao himself on drums. So you can find that on YouTube. If you look him up, it's Ciao-Gaona, Ciao Gaona. So if any of our listeners are from Brazil and we're pronouncing that horribly wrong, please get in touch, send us a little audio file or something and go, no, this is how you pronounce it. And we'll be very, very grateful. And we'll give you a shout out on the show as well.
And we'll get it right in future.
And we'll get it right in future. Yes, of course, of course. So how's the last few weeks been? It's been a bit of a while.
It's been a while. Strangely enough, we met each other during that time.
We did.
Like the second time we met in person in existence.
Yes. But more on that later.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We've been doing some recording, as your good self has also been doing.
Yes.
For a future release. There's some gigs in my future, which we'll talk about a future show. Can't say very much on that at the moment. So yeah, I've been rehearsing daily. Getting myself up to speed for one show I can talk about, which is Claire's good husband's 50th birthday party. I'm doing
Mr. Henry, Marcus.
Yeah, I'm doing a private. I say private.
They've invited half of Warwick.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing a birthday show for his 50th, which has been really weird because he's a big Elvis fan. Obviously, I'm Darth Elvis, but most of my set is going to be normal Elvis. So, as Master Yoda once said, you must unlearn what you have learned.
That's it. Try and remember the right lyrics.
It's not easy, I'll be honest. I will have words with me because I've been singing some of these songs for 15 years, and it's like trying to get the Darth Elvis versions out my head is tricky.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm rehearsing daily to try. It's proving tricky. But so, yes, I'm looking forward to that. It's a one time I think I've done maybe the second time I've done an Elvis show.
Oh.
It's not Star Wars-y, but I will be doing some Star Wars-y stuff as well, I think.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what I can talk about. I'm looking forward to doing that. So, yeah, by the time the next show's been on, done some shows, and I'll have one I can talk about, which in the next show. So yes, all good. What about yourself? How's things going?
Yeah, musically, as you say, we've been laying down some tracks for a future Darth Elvis release. So yeah, that was good fun. One of my bands, Amoeba Teen, has just in this last week released a new album.
Which is very good, I must say.
Oh, thank you. Money's in the post.
No, seriously, I had it on, came out on Friday last week, and I'm a big fan of some of your influences, like Teenage Fan Club and Jellyfish. These great harmony bands, vocal harmonies, which is right up my Straza.
Cool.
So, no, really digging it. Great album.
Thank you. Yeah, so we've been on the promotional machine because the label that have released it are based in California. So if I do get out to Celebration, I'm hoping to meet up with a few of the guys from the record company for a sherbet.
Nice.
If I have a spare 5 minutes, you know. But yeah, so their sort of promotional machine has kicked in. So we're getting interview requests from like US radio stations and podcasters and bloggers and all sorts of things. So it's been a bit of a busy old time.
Very good.
And of course, there's been lots of Star Wars going on as well.
There has been.
There has.
And we've actually been to some gigs as well since the last show.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to go and see our good friend Mark Hamilton, Ash, play with Supergrass in the Brixton Academy, which is my first time in the Brixton Academy, which is a splendid venue. They played a blistering, cracking wee set. It was good to see them. And I also took my eldest, Elliott, Darth Elvis Junior, or one of the Darth Elvis Junior.
Yeah.
Robertson clan kids.
Darth Elliott.
Darth Elliott. We took him to see Ghost, who there is a Star Wars connection there now.
There is.
Which I was like, ooh, yeah. I mean, I'm a big Ghost fan. I want to say a guilty pleasure because people kick him about a wee bit, but I don't think they're a guilty pleasure. This the ace.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because they're one of those bands. I think they're actually quite misunderstood because you mentioned them and went, "Oh, I've been listening to the new Ghost album," and I sort of went, "Oh, yeah, not really my kind of thing, that doom metal." And you went, "No, you've got them all wrong. Listen." And there's some stuff in there that it's almost Bon Jovi-esque.
Steady on now, hang on. That would be a guilty pleasure.
No, there's a track on the new album that starts with the keyboards and it sounds just like the beginning of Runaway.
Right, okay. I think they did say the newest album was influenced by Def Leppard, so...
there you go.
Yeah, but
but no, I've been listening to the new album and it is very, very good indeed. And
Corker, the Star Wars connection, Tobias, the singer, the leader, if you like. Obviously, he's Papa Emeritus IV at the moment, and the backing band members get called the Nameless Ghouls.
Yes.
And the new costumes are inspired by the Tusken Raiders, apparently, because that's his favourite characters from
Star Wars. Yes,
good man.
Recent interview, he said, the nameless ghouls are obviously, I say session musicians, like, you know, they may be regular members of the band, but are all in costume and don't break the fourth wall, as it were, and remain in these costumes throughout. And I don't know about unfortunately, in this day of digital music, I don't get a little album sleeve to look through and try and work out who's actually playing. But yeah, the masks for the current iteration of the Nameless Ghouls are, as you said, inspired by Tusken Raiders.
If you get the chance to see Ghost live, I would highly recommend it. They're very tight and very funny between songs, so highly recommend it. And let's try and get him on the show.
Yes, that's somebody else on our wish list.
Yeah, if you're listening, Tobias.
Yes, if you're listening.
Welcome anytime.
Yeah. Have your people call our people and we'll sort something out.
Yeah, speak to Martin Keeler and he'll put you in touch.
First mention of the show.
Well, you know, you've got to get a few mentions in.
Yes.
So talking of taking my eldest son, Elliott, to see Ghost, the two of us have been playing LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And rather than listen to two old farts
who have no idea about gaming.
Well, yeah, for steady on. Star Wars gaming.
Brown Squadron.
Yeah, Brown Squadron for the win. Yeah, come and find us in Squadrons at some point. We haven't played that in years. Yeah, we thought we'd get the opinion of the youth.
Down with the kids.
Down with the kids. So, down with the kids, I'm going to go and grab my 14-year-old, almost 15, Elliott, to talk about the Skywalker Saga. So keep yourselves amused with.
Here's a little light music. So joining us now is Darth Elvis Junior, Elliott, and Baby Yoda. They can't hear that, though.
Can't hear that.
Because he's not speaking. Yeah, just released this last month was LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga. So tell us, from your point of view, how are you finding the game? Are you enjoying it?
Oh, it's legendary. Better than anything we could have hoped or waited for, which we did wait for years. But yeah, it feels really weird because growing up one of those kids that played LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars, every day I got home from like primary playing it on the Wii. Yeah, the graphics have improved. I must say the story has improved. It's just, it's so weird, and even if you just leave your character, it just goes into an idle animation. And the idea of that, when it feels so weird because it's so advanced.
Saying to Greg earlier, one of the things that struck me is nobody actually seems to die, or not very gruesomely anyway.
But no one's ever really gone.
And no one's ever really gone either. No, even the Darth Maul getting chopped in half is like.
Yeah.
And there's little twists in the story here and there, so events don't happen exactly as they do in the films.
Yeah.
So in some of the cutscenes, you've got, just playing earlier this evening, the end of Attack of the Clones, and Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin are all fighting Dooku, which obviously doesn't happen in the film.
He's also shirtless for a short period of time.
Yes, he's just got out of the shower or something, and he's got like a shower cap on, and yeah, as you say, the graphics and everything are just so much further advanced than any of those previous LEGO games. I mean, even the more recent ones, like the LEGO Force Awakens game, which is obviously more in depth in the story than the Force Awakens level in Skywalker Saga, but everything's just moved on so much more. and the additional ability. Something I've not really got into yet is the sort of free play and being able to go around all the different worlds. And
it's amazing, especially when you start unlocking other characters, because you get unique dialogue when you pair certain characters together. So if you pair Palpatine and Darkside Anakin, I'm pretty sure you get. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis' wives?
Yes.
And Anakin just goes on a tangent about how he's heard it so many times now.
Yeah, and there's.
Would you be playing Gilbert Gottfried's reading of Plagueis the Wise here?
Yeah.
The nod of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about the starships and things? You've unlocked some starships and stuff.
Yeah, they've gone really in depth with this, with the ships. I would have thought they would have just put in generic ones, but I think a few days ago I unlocked IG-11's ship.
Oh.
And like I was playing it a few minutes ago, I unlocked the Sidian Thanos ship on Dakar, and it was really weird because I was seeing that ship and I was like, oh, seen it, Sidian Thanos ship.
Yeah.
You would have thought you would have had you would have thought for prequel you would have had like a Vulture and an Arc 170, and that would have been it. And then you would have moved on to the original trilogy and a TIE Fighter and an X-Wing, and that's it. But they've gone much more in depth, especially with the free play. Especially they've definitely used their extra year they had.
Yeah. One of the things I found as well, I don't know whether this was just me getting it wrong, in Attack of the Clones, when you go back to Coruscant and you go off to the landing pad to pick up your ship, I just went to the nearest landing pad and ended up going Obi-Wan flying off in an N1.
Yeah.
And then rather than do what you would expect a game to do, which is immediately cut back and then you go into the Jedi Starfighter, it actually landed on Geonosis in an N1. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous level of detail. It's like, I guess that ties in with the world building where you can go anywhere and do anything. But it's like, it's even though I'm in story mode, it's remembered that I've got into an N1 and now it's landed the N1. And I think it was only then when I left that it sort of picked it up and actually went, oh no, you should have a Jedi Starfighter here.
Yeah. But it's just so in depth. Like, for example, if you go on to the Return of the Jedi R2-D2 when he's got the drinks on his head.
Yeah.
If you play that character in if you just play that character, if you're in X-Wing, you just see the drinks and the tray in the astromech pod, and I found that out, and I was just like, oh, they could have just added a random astromech, but they gave him the tray as well in space.
Yeah, as I say, I think going through story mode, I think I've done about 5.5 of the films now. As I said to Greg earlier, I'm doing them in the weirdest, most random order. So
you need to give that a name. The random order, like machete order. You need to give it a
that's it. Yeah.
Name for it.
Okay, that's my challenge for the rest of the evening now. I've got to try and even like completing the story level, I don't think any of them are above about 44% in terms of what you've actually completed in that level. And I mean, that's nothing really new for the LEGO games, because you've always been able to, you go back and you play as a dark side character and you can unlock certain...
Yeah, with the mini kits.
Yeah, there's all that side of thing as well, which, is going to keep people coming back, even though, I mean, the actual film story levels, I reckon, if you don't sort of dally around and try and get all the little Lego studs, I think you could probably do each level in about probably an hour and a half. I
would say less. I would say 40 minutes at most.
Oh, I'm just being slow then. But yeah, so but I mean, even with that, you're talking about a very basic level. It's got lots of elements of previous Lego games in there, not just the Star Wars ones, but the sort of building challenges and all that sort of stuff. But even going through the story levels, you're talking about a good 10 hours of gameplay, and then you can go into I want to go off and I want to explore around Echo Base or Coruscant or Cloud City. So there's so much more than just actually playing the game in there as well.
I need to get Echo Base. I need to go around Echo Base. I know Rebel Friend is in there. I need to go get him from the original game. I need to go get Rebel Friend. He's on my to-do list.
Nah.
One person that's not there is Constant Zuvio. Sorry, Mr. Keeler.
Yeah.
No amount of unlocking is going to make him appear.
No.
And he wasn't the Force Awakens Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, which is that's the really weird thing, is like he was in there, so they've obviously got the model rendered.
Mama the Hutt, but you can't get Constable Zuvio.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mama the Hutt's for us Clone Wars fans. Leave us alone.
And Constable Zuvio doesn't have any fans. Apart from one.
I mean, that is kind of weird, because they had the guy in the background of The Force Awakens with the long neck with the pets on his back.
Yeah.
They've
Jojo.
they've got him as an unlockable character, but they've not got Zuvio.
I reckon Martin's probably campaigning now to TT to just get a Constable Zuvio character pack.
I did actually fill in a feedback form.
Yes.
And I mentioned the lack of Constable Zuvio was upsetting.
You do realise how much we've all been corrupted by Martin's obsession, to the point that the recent Topps, what do they call them? The Living Card series.
Living Edge or something, is it?
Yeah. Somebody not a million miles away from this podcast bought 5 copies of the Zuvio card.
You can't see me shake my head, listeners.
Yes. Felt very bad about doing it. But there you go.
I don't think Martin Keeler bought 5 Zuvio cards.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that one day I meet the guy and get him to like sign them. And then just like taunt Martin with them.
You'll be waiting a very long time if you're behind Martin in the queue.
yeah. I've got
Action figure number 373. 374.
He couldn't devalue his entire collection, sure.
So, how many hot dangs out of 5 would you give Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga?
Oh, 4.9.
4.9 hot dangs out of 5.
There you go.
Why is it missing 0.1 of a hot dang?
Oh, well.
Not having Zuvio.
And that, and also I need a clone customizer. I want like on Camino. I want to customize my clones, put different helmets on them.
Clone Wars obsessed.
There you go. So 4.9 is the official Desert Planet Discs hot dangs. 4.9 hot dangs out of 5 for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
So that's more. It's like a hot dan, isn't it? Rather than a hot dang.
Yeah, or is it hot dang, but the last exclamation mark's only got the full stop, or hasn't got the full stop underneath the exclamation mark?
Yeah.
I do have to congratulate the Lego designers for taking inspiration from Adult Swim with their Max Rebo, because they've got him using a jazz voice.
Oh, yes.
Like in season 1.
Disney Plus, if you're listening, I can still write you a Max Rebo Spinal Tap.
Yeah, definitely.
Show you're missing.
Yeah. The Max Rebo in the game also looks a lot like. Have you seen the what's the new cartoon series? Galactic Pals.
Oh yeah, Galactic Pals.
Oh yeah,
There's a little Max Rebo in that, and I was like, hang on a minute, this is what me and Greg were talking about, our Lego babies. Not Lego babies, Star Wars babies. Yeah, that's it.
Star Wars babies, like your dreams come true.
Ooh, yeah. So there we go.
But yeah, the best thing about it is just the fact that they've pulled things from all over the fandom, and they've got Clone Wars, original trilogy, prequels, sequels,
OT,
Rebels. I mean, like, sure, if that's your thing. But one thing they haven't got is Star Wars Resistance.
That's what they say. Hey,
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, there's nothing in Star Wars Resistance.
You see, now that would have made a good bonus level, because you could have just had it like a racing challenge.
Yeah, race around the
But, at the same time, that would have meant they would have had to do another level for Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, which could be easy, but then again, it's designing a whole new level.
Yeah. So
Lego Gaming, if you are listening, my son is available for
For ideas.
and I'm available for testing
There we go.
for gaming because he's very good at his GraphCom.
I've got Nat 5 GraphCom. Hire me.
There we go. Brilliant.
Thank you very much, Elliott.
Thanks very much, Elliot.
Join us next time when he reviews Leisure Suit Larry.
You're listening to Fantha Tracks. Flip through the galaxy of literature with Cannon Fodder hosts Brian Cameron, Matt Booker, Mark Newbold, and Mark Mulcaster.
Count me in.
Spin round the rim with Desert Planet Discs. Your musical journey through the space lanes with your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
The hottest tunes this side of Mos Eisley.
Get the latest news, interviews, reviews, and much more on Making Tracks with your hosts, Mark Newbold and Mark Mulcaster.
Like an Ewok battle wagon out of control.
Join hosts Claire Henry and a rotating panel of guest hosts for the podcast that's full of hope, Planet Leia.
I love you.
I know.
It's time to head south with the Fantha from Down Under, Adam O'Brien.
Oh, g'day, mate. How you going?
Start your engines with Paul Naylor and Mark Newbold as they lift the hood on starships, airspeeders, swoops, capital ships, and more from across the cosmos. And for everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds. Bookmark fanthatracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
So, after that amazing review from young Elliot, I think we should have a tune.
Yes, a little bit of music.
Little bit of music.
Yes.
So, Greg, who's coming up next for us?
Who is coming up next indeed is friend of the show, Royish Good Looks. This is hot off the press. He released this track as we record this last night, the 24th of April. This is More Machine Now from Royish Good Looks. Go and check it out on YouTube. As always, a fantastic music video to go along with a fantastic song. So go and subscribe, like his songs, leave some comments, and follow him on all the sort of social media pages and keep up to date with what Royish Good Looks is up to. So here we go. More Machine Now.
This young boy is gonna leave the sands of Tatooine. One day they say that he'll fulfill the prophecy. He will travel through the stars from Naboo to Mustafar. Before he brings balance, he'll bring darkness to them all. What has he done? What has he become? He's a master of evil, a slave to the dark side, and more machine now than man. He is more machine now than man. This young boy is filled with fear. We all sense it here. He is struggling to let go of all that he holds dear. His fear will lead to anger, then hate and suffering.
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly?
Royish Good Looks there with More Machine now, available on all good streaming platforms. And as Greg said, brilliant video as ever from our mate Roy, available on YouTube. So go check him out, like, subscribe, and you won't regret it. So, having talked about lots of lovely plastic or virtual plastic, one of the big things rumbling away in the world of Star Wars is at the moment is actually not about plastic at all, or slightly about plastic,
or lack thereof,
or the lack thereof. Yes, the Great Hasbro Packaging Debate, as we're going to call it. Obviously, with companies such as Hasbro, and not just limited to them, but with companies across the world looking to reduce the amount of single-use plastic that they're employing in packaging and products, it was only a matter of time, really, before Hasbro started to look at their packaging. Obviously, the two main lines that would be affected are, of course, the Black Series and the Vintage Collection. Now, Black Series obviously has undergone several packaging redesigns over the years, from the original orange line boxes and blue line boxes through the red and black boxes, and now the angled sides, which are really, really nicely done, but still have that giant plastic window so you can actually see the figure.
Yeah, and you've also got the anniversary figures as well, like for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars and Empire last year, with the sort of traditional vintage collection looking hardbacks, and the archive collection as well. Yeah,
and then of course with your classic vintage collection 3 3/4, that is all. It's a flat piece of cardboard with a bit of plastic stuck on the front.
The bubble, the classic bubble.
The classic bubble. So, Greg, what are your thoughts on this move away from plastic and what some people are already saying the way it could take collecting?
It's an interesting one. I mean, eco-friendly guy. Done all the eco changes I can to my house. I'm big on kind of reducing waste and stuff. And I obviously looking at the Hasbro, what they're doing with, I think the first reveal of this, what's to come was with the Spider-Man figures. Recently, some of the Hasbro Marvel Legends stuff, they've gone for photograph of the toys on a plain cardboard box, basically. The same box you would normally get, but the window's now replaced with more card with a picture of that toy.
Yeah.
I think that'll be okay for Black Series. I mean, if I was a full-on hardcore Black Series collector, and then the number of different packaging changes there's been would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I think the fact there's what they've settled on now is great, with the, like you say, the artwork, and it all kind of links together nicely. You kind of get like a nice kind of picture with them all lined up together. Having seen that firsthand in somebody's house, we'll call him Mr. Keeler, it looks really impressive seeing them all side by side with the artwork lined up. I think that'll continue. That would work in the same way the Hasbro Marvel stuff looks. I think it kind of works. Where I think the upset will definitely come in is with the vintage collection, just because that's how it's been since 1978.
Yeah.
I got the Ahsoka Tano Rosario Dawson style figure in the post the other day, the one that came with bits of accessory. You got like Grogu, you got a couple of silver ball thing and a floating rock, and the LED thing, which I forget the name of. Don't shoot me for forgetting that, and a lamp. Great figure. Great packaging. I mean, I like the packaging to that. It kind of, they've done that for a few years, I guess, because you had like the Imperial guys, the Imperial scanning crew, and there was a twin pack of Ewoks came out in similar packaging. 5-10 years ago, I think it was. I think that works, but I think to do the traditional flat card back Hasbro Vintage Collection figure on card, I think that would make me sad going to the shop and seeing that. I mean, you look at the art on the variant covers of the Marvel action figures, the variant action figure covers is what I'm trying to say, are really cool. But to have that this almost the same but almost 3D for a figure, I don't know. I would I know collector friends who were kind of really upset about the idea of that happening. Especially, like I say, especially the vintage collection. I think you can probably get away with it fine with any other scale, but I think if you've been collecting them for 40 plus years and you've maybe like people hang them on their wall, or they've got them displayed, and they've got them in acrylic cases or whatever, and it's a nice display piece, and then for that suddenly changed a card bubble, I think it's going to, yeah.
And I've read a few people say it almost becomes scammers' paradise.
Indeed. Yeah, I've read that as well.
You know, because if you're a non-opener, you've gone from, oh, look at this figure, I can look at it and it's beautiful, to going, there's something that weighs about the same as a Black Series figure, but what's in there?
Yeah, exactly. It's when you get to the shop sometimes and you go, oh, it's weird. You've got like C-3PO on a Chewbacca card back.
Yeah.
Oh, variant. It's like, no, somebody's swapped the figure out.
Yeah.
I mean, there are variants like that sometimes, but, you know, a lot of the time it is people being dodgers and swapping out figures.
Yeah.
And if you don't see what's on behind that cardboard, you don't know what you're going to get, really, unless you open it.
No, and it, again, it's one of those things that if you can't actually see the figure, does that almost negate mint in box collecting?
Yeah, because you've no idea what it looks like in there. Exactly. You get like the paint apps, and these are dreadful sometimes. Derpy Look was one a few years back, wasn't he? His eyes were really crossed on the figure.
Yeah,
you wouldn't even know if you've got a bad paint job unless you open it.
No, and that is a real shame because, as we say, one of the things they've got better and better at these figures and the likenesses, and not knocking people that collect mint in box, but all of a sudden you might as well just collect mint box and become a Black Series packaging collector, because that's all you're ever going to see, you know. Have a picture. So yeah, it's one of those. I think this debate's obviously going to rumble on. Everybody's trying to do as much as they can, and especially big corporations, you know, looking to become more environmentally aware and you know, reduce the impact on the environment. And even when the next iteration of packaging for these things comes out, I think you're going to find people coming up with, you know, alternative ideas. I mean, one of the things I've seen is you've got some of the convention exclusive Black Series. So had like the Sith Trooper, the Jinner, so where they were in like card packaging, only card packaging, but then, you know, they sort of slid out either all the way or, you know, half the way, or you flip the box open or whatever, and you could see the figure. You could leave it in the box, but it's got, you know, some degree of being able to actually open the figure and see it without actually taking it out of the packaging. So I think that would be one way that you could go to appease people who actually want to see what they're getting.
I will say, I mean, it was very easy to open the Ahsoka figure without damaging the packaging.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of tape on the side, but then, you know, that's the problem, isn't it? You've then cut that tape. That's now not a... I mean, I'm not a mint collector, so I just, you know, buy things that take my fancy.
There you go.
And so it doesn't bother me so much, but I think the vintage collection one would wind me up a wee bit. I've been collecting the retro collections because I tie in with the vintage figures from back in the day.
Oh, so Chewbacca on the way? Purple.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know, the purple helmet ones. You know, just behind me here is the purple helmet collection to date. I can't wait for the purple-haired Chewbacca.
Yeah.
I'm going to free my retro collection Mandalorian figures. I think can display them. I've got some normal vintage collection Mandalorian stuff as well, which I keep in the box, and I can't see me unleashing those. And I think I would definitely be sad to see the back of the bubble, the classic plastic bubble. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate in those retro plastic bubbles for my my recent birthday. Some of my fellow Fanthers got me one of the Gentle Giant large-scale TIE pilots.
Ah, very nice.
Empire Strikes Back TIE pilot, sort of chunky boy, or as I always call him, the Womble Trooper, because his face is a little bit wombly. But yeah, because I do like me TIE pilots and me troopers. So yeah, and I mean that is obviously your 3 3/4 taken to the nth degree. But yeah, it is one of those things, and you do kind of wonder whether it's going to be the jumping off point for some collectors.
Might be.
That's it. I've got that, or it now becomes, all right, instead of buying all the new stuff, I'm going to go back and I'm going to complete my 96, and I'm going to
4 to go.
4 to go.
4.
We'll put an advert out. Wanted ad.
Wanted it 1980s prices, please.
Please. Yeah. There we go.
Shall we have some music?
Yes. So next up, this one actually goes back, or the discovery of this artist goes back a few years, because we're going to talk in a little while about some upcoming shows, and one of those shows is Star Wars Fan Fun Day. And at one of the shows pre-pandemic, I was fortunate enough to meet and have a chat with Ingvild Dahlia, who people will probably know was the body double for Princess Leia in Rogue One. So that little scene at the end where they turn around and they've, like they did with Guy Henry and Tarkin, Ingvild was the body double and mocap for Leia, and they mapped Carrie's face on. She is also a singer in a band called Necessary Animals, who are actually based in the UK, despite Ingvild actually being Norwegian. He says, yes, Norwegian. Yes. So, yeah, they're based in Hastings, UK. I've been listening to them for a couple of years now, but they've just recently released a song called Walking to Babylon, which is out now on Bandcamp. The band also features Amanda Thompson from another band called The Big Believe. So this is Necessary Animals, Walking to Babylon.
Searching for you
in Babylon. I know that somewhere you wait for me from the fires of hell in Babylon. I have come to set you free. Oh, this is so strange, alone in this lonely place. Tell me what I must do to say goodbye to you.
My name is Ingrid Geiler. I played Princess Leia in Rogue One, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
Starting off there was Necessary Animals Walking to Babylon, as Carl said, with Ingrid from Star Wars Rogue One. Merging into Darth Elvis and the Imperials, Batuna, taken from the album 4. Stay tuned to Desert Planet Discs for some new Darth Elvis and Friends music. and some gig details coming soon to a galaxy near you.
Yes.
So, talking about shows.
Yes.
Shows. Darth Elvis is going to be doing some shows, and we've been at some shows, and we're going to some shows.
Indeed. So, first up, back at the start of April, in fact, right at the start of April, I think it was the 2nd of April.
Indeed it was
the ever-popular Echo Base Live, which obviously we mentioned in the run-up to the show, and we've spoken about many times on both Desert Planet Discs and across the network, making tracks. There's also some video evidence of, I think, Paul, Claire and myself at one of the shows from a couple of years back. We were sort of wandering around doing a bit of a roving report. But this show was different for a whole other reason, and that was the somewhat surprise appearance of one Mr. Darth Elvis.
Yeah, I got to my first Echo Base Live finally.
Yay! So, as a hardened regular, I'm going to throw it over to you to give us the newbie's eye view on Nubian.
Nubian. Oh.
Yeah. So what did you make of your first Echo Live?
It was. I'm just gutted that I was so skint. Because it was like a treasure trove of everything you want Star Wars, pretty much. I mean, there was. Instant you walk in the door, you're faced with, graded figures, like vintage graded figures. There was loose figures. There was some insane carded figures.
Would that be the vinyl Cape Jawa?
That would be the vinyl Cape Jawa. There was vintage, like the movies on video and Laserdisc kicking about. There was guys with 3D prints done. There was like folk had made dresses and pillowcases and stuff, and obviously the autograph guys were there. You had Paul Blake, the legend Paul Blake, and who else was there? Femi Taylor.
Yeah, Chris
Bunn.
Andrew Lorden.
Yes.
It was Qui-Gon double.
I'm looking at his fur on my wall here, and the name escapes me. There was just so much, and like even modern stuff, and it was great to see Dave Tree, all the cool stuff.
Yes.
And in fact, when we're talking earlier on about Hasbro, I bought some of my retro collection figures from Dave whilst there. Just fantastic, and great to see so many people that and don't get to see very often. To be fair, with living where I live up in the northeast of Scotland, it's good to see so many Fantas and friends have made it. Celebrations around the world, and a great event. And as I say, I could spend all day there. The raffle was fantastic. Obviously, I didn't win anything, but good cause.
Yeah, and
moving swiftly on. We're not talking about your prize.
yes. I did manage to win something on the raffle. Yeah.
Oh, I know. What? I go once and I don't win anything. Every year you win.
The charity raffle is a big focus of the day, and about the most money I spend usually. And because I haven't got a spare 38 grand kicking around for a vinyl Cape Jawa. Yes, folks, £38,000. Yes. So, and they got a big head hand as well. Mint on card, and that was thousands as well. I was like, oh, big head hand's the one that people want. I've got that.
Yeah. There's just so much stuff, so much good stuff.
The first time I think I've seen that many Hot Toys all in one place.
Yeah.
There was a stall that was pretty much Hot Toys and Kota Bukiya figurines.
I got Tameshi Nations is something I got recently, but they had some of them as well, which is
and I mean, obviously, being your first time, it's grown up a hell of a lot over the last couple of years. From it's always been in the same shopping centre, the Kingfisher Shopping Centre in Redditch, but it's gone from being in a couple of small shop units to a couple of sort of like corridors, various places around the building. And this was in, I think, an old Home Bargains or B&M, one of those big sort of discount type stores. The fact that they'd actually ripped the ceiling out when whichever company it was has left gave it a real sort of Star Warsy feel as well, because it was all like ducting and shiny silver stuff. But it made it feel much more like a big convention hall.
Yeah.
More like one of your MCM type things. Obviously not on the same scale, but I think somebody said there was over 70 different stall holders. I won't say traders, because some of the stalls were like held by artists. Friend of the show, Marsha Parkins. Bowman's Green were there as well with some brilliant prints. There was all sorts of different things available and stuff, as you say, for every budget. For the kids that were there, there were pocket money type figure rummages for old beaten up figures where you're only paying a couple of pounds.
It was like if I flew down for a few days to go to a few different events and stuff. If I had more packaging, if I had a big suitcase, I might have bought more. I had a little carry-on to try and get everything into, and I knew I had other stuff to put in there, because I had like the Resistance figures, for example. You could get 6 of them for 30 quid.
Yeah,
Elliott would have loved that, but again, I didn't have the space, unfortunately, to pack it all in. But something for everyone, and like you say, if you had more time to spend diving into some of the baskets and stuff and boxes underneath the counters, you could snap up some real bargains.
Yeah.
To bring the kids, ladies and gentlemen. Bring the kids.
Yeah.
The future.
Yeah. And one of my only purchases, aside from some brilliant Rogue One artwork by Marsha, there's a poster of one of the Rebel helmets, one of the sort of Rebel Commando helmets that came out for Rogue One, and Marsha's done one of the blanks of the Rogue One Marvel comic with the Rogue One header on, with a sort of side-on view of one of the Rebel helmets with "Born to Rebel" like scrawled on the side, and that was a limited edition print that she'd done specifically for Echo. So I picked myself up one of those, and picked up a couple for other people as well. But my and it's only a little thing, but one of my top purchases, I say main purchases because it was about the only thing I really bought, was one of the Funko Pop t-shirts.
Nice.
I got I think it was at an MCM a few years ago. I got the Rogue One Smuggler's Crate, and when we moved house, it was like, just got all this stuff in this box. Let's have a look what's in it. Oh, look, a couple of Funko Pops, a couple of pins, patch. Oh, it's a t-shirt. So I was like, I might as well put that in the t-shirt collection. I love Rogue One. Might as well wear it and just leave it in the bag. So I got it out, and it's one of my favourite t-shirts. And then I spotted somewhere that they'd done a Rebels one. So that was me. So 3-4 weeks ago, I was eBay searching, and they were like 17, 18 quid, and even more than that, and then shipped from America. So that was putting another 15, 20 quid on it. It was like, nah, it's a bit much to pay for a t-shirt that I'm actually going to wear. And then there was a stall selling them, and they'd got a couple of the different Funko Pop t-shirt designs in the big, they're not quite 12-inch square, sort of perhaps A4 size, a little bit wider boxes. So I was like flicking through. I was like, oh no, medium, no, small, no, large, getting better. And the very last one I came to was an XL. I was like, yes! Score 7 quid.
Oh, can't argue that.
So that was me made for the day. And then on the raffle, as we've already alluded, I won a prize. So the Echo raffle is just this massive, giant table of prizes donated by traders, friends, and I normally try and put together a bit of a prize box of stuff that I've looked out through the collection, like duplicates and things like that. And there is stuff for kids right through to the ardent collectors. And there's a few things. The original '96 collector's case, they put one of those in the raffle. But I won one of the posters from the last Echo event, which was August last year. So it's like one of the advertising posters with all the guests that appeared at the show, but signed like all the guests that were at the show.
Very nice.
So yeah, there's some brilliant people on there. I think Julian Glover's on there, Sean Crawford, Yakface, and it was just one of those that I sort of saw, and I didn't want to deprive proper vintage collectors, if you like, of some of the other sort of high end, because my ticket was drawn quite early on, so there was still quite a few good collectors type prizes there. But another winning run. Thank you, Sonny. Marshes of the Half, who does a sterling job on the day, running around selling raffle tickets, and sold me a winner every show so far. So
hey, Sonny, come and find Darth Elvis next time, please.
Yeah. We'll sort you out next time.
That was Sonny, not City. City. No, I'm not going to try again, City. Off you go.
I'm not sure.
Oh, sorry about that, City interrupting.
Yes. So then the day after that, you took yourself off down to London to meet Alex Winter.
I did, yeah.
Or rather to allow Alex Winter to meet you.
Well, yeah, that's more like it, yeah. It was most triumphant.
Most excellent, yes. In actual fact, you got to see Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah. So I had a meet and greet with Alex, and then we did as our Q&A, and then we did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure with a intro from Alex beforehand as well.
Cool.
So that was awesome. That was very good. It was the first time I'd seen it on the big screen since I saw it when it came out.
Yes.
Back in the 80s.
All those days ago, all those years ago.
And I think it might have been me and my mate in the cinema. So this was like a sold out screening. So it was great seeing it with a big audience.
Cool. And then, meanwhile,
you took yourself to somewhere.
I took myself to Wales. Well, actually, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I took myself to Telford.
For Wales Comic Con.
For Wales Comic Con. Telford is now in Wales, or Wales is now in Telford. Held at the International Centre in Telford. Really, really good show. Not quite so many Star Wars guests as the last show we went to, and certainly a lot of the big name guests this time were from different franchises. So on the Saturday they'd had certainly David Tennant. I don't know if Matt Smith was there or whether that was the one of the previous shows, but David Tennant had certainly been in there on the Saturday.
From the Clone Wars?
From the Clone Wars as well, yes.
Evangeline Lilly,
yes. She was very lovely. Not that I got to speak to her, but it's a bit difficult to speak when a security man's wrestling you to the floor. And also of Star Wars alumni was Andy Serkis.
Yay!
Yes,
legend.
He was there, always with a rather large queue. Although biggest queue of certainly the Sunday was, and I'm going to say Bruce Campbell, but I don't know. Is that right? The guy from Evil Dead?
Yeah,
yes.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you said the biggest queue and it wasn't for Andy Serkis, I was thinking, that's going to be Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Groovy.
So, fellow Fantha and co-host of Start Your Engines, Paul Naylor was there with his son Matt, who's a big autograph collector, and he was interested in getting Mr. Campbell's autograph. However, the queue never seemed to dip down much below, I would have said, about 200 people.
I think it's his first UK show in a long time.
Yeah.
I luckily met him in Edinburgh when he's promoting My Name is Bruce, like a independent film he did. Yeah.
So that was a good day. We were sort of mooching about. Again, meeting up with, chatting to a few of our friends, artists again, Gav, the Retro Draftsman, and Cult Locations Inc., Jay Manchand, Tops artist, among them. And yeah, again, a nicely laid out show. They've spread it out sort of post-COVID across a couple of 2 or 3 halls now. So it's much more spaced out, and you don't feel like, even when it's quite busy, it doesn't feel overcrowded or that you're sort of hemmed in anywhere. So yeah, another good show, and I look forward to the next one, which I think is later this year.
Yeah, basically October, is it? Some round about then?
Yeah, and also in the last week or so, Echo have announced that there will be another Echo Live this year.
But before October, there's a couple of shows just around the corner.
There are.
One little bit local, one not so local.
Yes, one of the world's premier Star Wars fan celebrations, which goes by the name of Star Wars Fan Fun Day. Wax lyrical about this. I think Neil Livesey and Paul Dunn were Brian's guests on Good Morning Tatooine a few weeks back. They, of course, being the brainchild and organisers behind Star Wars Fan Fun Day. Always a great show. For the past, I think it's 10, 11 years.
11 years now, yeah.
The past shows have always been at Burnley Football Club, English, just about Premier League football club at the moment. May not be for much longer, but yes, enough football chatter. So yeah, they've moved just down the road to Championship Football Club, Blackburn Rovers, one-time Premier League winners. And yes, so the show continues this year, and it's always a really good show.
Yeah.
Much like Echo, it's a lot less pressure to get signature move. It's a really family-oriented day. There's loads of stuff for the kids to do.
Lots of costumers there. Get your photo taken with.
Yeah, costumers, photo ops.
Collectibles, yeah. It's great panels. Entertainment.
Yes. The dinner the night before the show, there is a dinner with the stars. That's always really good fun. And a charity auction as well, which is also very fun, depending who's there and how drunk they've got. But I say, always one of those shows that people are always clamouring to find out when it's on. Unfortunately, it's not over the bank holiday weekend in the UK this time. So I think I may have mentioned that I think in the last show when we were talking to Andy, I've unfortunately double booked myself, and I'm playing a wedding while Dinner with the Stars is on. So I'm hot-footing it up on the Sunday morning to get to the actual show. But I know Mark and Paul and Brian are definitely doing the show, and I believe they're all doing the dinner as well. Well, Paul is, because Paul's going as me.
He's dressing up as you.
He's dressing up as me.
He likes dressing up, doesn't he, that Naylor?
Yeah, I'm sending him my TK Trooper suit.
Excellent.
So he can properly dress up as me. But
and I think our good friend Andy and probably some of the other Blues Harvest guys will be there milling about.
Because it's
one of the locals.
Yeah, nice local show for them as well. So
sadly, I will not make it this year, but I do hope to be back visiting next year, hopefully. May's a busy one for me, unfortunately, so it's going to be I knew.
Yes. Can't be meeting at all these shows.
No.
People will start talking, and
one a year, one show.
That's it. We'll end up ruining the magic.
Talking
of the magic.
Yeah.
You go from the magic of English football grounds to the magic of Disney.
Yeah, Star Wars Celebration.
Yes, just outside Disney at the Anaheim Convention Center in May. 26th to the 29th. Yes.
Yeah.
Can't you tell we haven't written that down?
I've got lots of dates in my head at the moment.
Yeah.
And I've still got a bit of COVID brain. I don't think my memory's quite what it used to be.
So announcements obviously coming out by the day of guests, panels, parties,
merchandising.
So, of the announcements we've had so far, and obviously this is the sort of thing that in a run-up to a show like this is going to date probably by the time we've actually even finished recording, let alone by the time the show airs. So, of the announcements you've seen so far, what are your picks of, wow?
Well, it has to be Ewan McGregor. But unfortunately, if I make it Star Wars Celebration, he sold out.
Yeah.
Like photographs and autographs sold out in the night. I think it was the next day they were all gone. So him, Ewan McGregor, if I make it, I hope they will release more, or I will have to work black magic, use some Sith mind tricks.
Try the old, don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am?
In full Darth Elvis costume.
In costume. Billy Lord.
Yes.
Billy Lord. Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, KMT.
And Emily Swallow were the ones that could have jumped out to me.
Yeah.
Majority of the other people I've got autographs with already. So but some great names. Katie Jones, who does Chris Stanton.
Yeah.
He's also doing a private signing with Elite Signatures, Paul Dunn's thing in the UK. Who else has there been? Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Kevin Thompson from Return of the Jedi and Caravan of Courage.
Yeah.
You've got Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, who's on the mend. He was not very well recently, had an operation. He's going to be there. Amy Allen. There's lots of folk being announced. Carl Weathers. Some great Katie Sackhoff. Some great names from Mando as well. So again, I've got most of those autographs already. So the ones I mentioned: KMT, Billy Lord, Emily Swallow, and hopefully Ewan McGregor. If I make it, those are the ones I'll be going for.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not much of an autograph collector, but there's something about just want to meet Kelly Marie.
Yeah.
Just it's kind of one of those things that you almost want to go up and just sort of say, look, ignore all the noise. There are people out there that love Rose and love what you did with the character.
I love their social media and the build up to Last Jedi coming out. She was the most positive person you could ever hope to, just the enthusiasm oozing off her in the video she did and stuff before the movie came out. Yeah, she's just adorable. So definitely what I want to meet if I make it, and I'd love to meet Billy Lord. Hopefully she carries on the glitter tradition at her mum's stuff.
Yeah, well, but that will just be ace. If she's adopted any of those
traits from her mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just, her mum was such an amazing person, and also an absolute pleasure to meet. I think Billy Lord's a must. But it's shaping up to be a great con.
It is. And
going from nothing to it's like zero to hero almost. It's kind of no news to huge panels where you've got future shows and stuff, and you've got I think Mandalorian panel and
Mando Plus, I think they've called it, haven't they?
Yeah, Bad Batch panel on the Sunday. Yeah,
no mention of anything around Andor yet.
No, I suspect that'll be coming. There must be a trailer imminent.
And you would also expect that, given the fact that they've bumped the Obi-Wan premiere back to the Friday.
That was done for a reason.
Yeah, I would say that somehow at Celebration you're going to get a panel and a couple of episodes on a big screen.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, although that does kind of then put you in the frame of mind, or if you've got a panel, say you've got like an hour's panel, or even 45 minutes. Rumours were that the Obi-Wan episodes were going to be fairly chunky.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you could be in that convention hall for about 2.5, 3 hours. Not that I'm complaining. Just make sure
take a bum massager with you.
That's it. Make sure you've got a little cushion.
Darth Cheeks will take a cushion if he makes it along. He'll take a cushion for me.
Keep the old back supported, and
keep yourself hydrated as well.
Keep yourself hydrated, but not overly hydrated, because you might have to nip out.
Yeah, that's also true.
To relieve the hydration, and you'll probably miss some really good bit.
Yeah.
But there you go. And
talking of celebrations, somebody we know,
yes,
a friend of the show, is going to be performing at the Skywalking Through Neverland party.
Yes,
so you take it away, sir.
Yes, also appearing as part of the Skynet Variety Show on the podcast stage, where you will also be able to see Making Tracks live.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or it may actually be something more along the lines of making your engine's desert planet cannon fodder discs or something, depending on which of us actually make it out to Celebration. That's happening, I think, about 2:00 on the Saturday, but the night before, the Skywalking Through Neverland guys are putting on the Skynet Variety Show, and that's 5 p.m. on the Friday, and will feature F105. Our friend Din is coming down from Canada, and so we thought we'd round off the music for tonight's show with Rebel Girl from F105. So here it is.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Someone to stand by her side. We all have a world where we want to hide. In the desert sun, at your main home. And all your life you felt so alone. So alone. So alone. So alone. Rebel girl.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was F105 with Rebel Girl. As we said, he'll be at Celebration at the Skywalking Through Neverland party and as part of the Skynet variety show on the podcast stage, 5 p.m. on the Friday. If you are going to Star Wars Celebration, keep your eyes out for the Fanta guys and girls. We will have some bits of swag, I'm sure, stickers maybe some badges. You'll see Fanta shirts kicking about. Look out for us and stay tuned for our next show, which will be on the 17th of June with lots of great content and music. Obviously, we'll have some feedback from Star Wars Celebration and things that have happened between now and then, and obviously a few episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi by that point.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much, and until next time, it's a hot dang from me.
And it's a hot dang from him.
Hot
dang! Thanks for listening to Desert Planet Discs. If you want to stay part of the action and up to date on all the latest Star Wars news, check out the Fantatrax app via the App Store on your mobile device.
You can contact us via email at radio@fantatrax.com. Comment, like and share on any of our social media feeds at Fantatrax, and be sure to subscribe. Leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice.
Don't forget to head to fantatrax.com/radio, home of Fantatrax Radio, and follow us on our social media feeds at Fantatrax, and bookmark fantatrax.com for all the latest in Star Wars news.